Do you guys ever just hear something in a broadcast and you're like, wow, that was sad? It was last night for me watching Sunday Night Football, Mike Tirico, Bengals, Giants. And the Giants, I guess, have been having issues with their special teams units. They have had to bring in a new kicker, Greg Joseph, had to bring in a new punter, which means that's a new holder.
Right.
And so as they're just, describing this new unit, he's just like, oh, this new punter and this new holder. Yeah, I hear around punting circles that he's a good holder. And I was just like, wow, punting circles talking about holders.
I like that.
Are they like around
intel.
Are they around a water cooler? Like, where is it a group text with all the punters? Like,
right.
I feel like that's one of those things you just say, right? Like, so like down here locally, we have a reporter named Andy Slater who has his famous Slater scoops, and he really is like on top of almost everything, right? But like sometimes he will tweet things out, like bits of information. And, like, if it's, like, a uniform thing, he's like, I talked to my sources within the seamstress industry. And it's like, wait, what are we talking about now? Like, what is this? And it's one of those things that you throw in there to, like, I have sources everywhere that, like, I don't know that you necessarily have seamstress sources, you know?
But it's someone.
But, someone is giving you the
it
information.
It validates the story a little bit, right?
Yeah, like, Tarico's talking to people in punting circles. Like, I'm not so certain about this.
I'm going to start doing that. I had a friend growing up who was like a FBS long snapper. And like there are long snapper circles. Like it's a very elite group of D1 long snappers. And they all know each other. They go to camps together.
Sure.
Yeah.
What punters are it? Like, I'm just like, let's like just imagine.
Who's in the punter circle?
Yeah, group chat. Is it like, is Matt Turk still in it? Like, I know that's like back from
McAfee.
our days.
Is this like your quarterback, starting quarterback group chat?
Yes.
But with punters
Right.
now?
Yes.
McAfee is a good one. I think Ray Guy still with us?
No.
He should be.
He's not? Yeah.
He's the classic punter of all
should be
time.
He doesn't have a choice, but yes, he should be.
He should be.
Ray Guy should be the leader of that circle, whatever that circle is.
Wow, Ray Dye passed away recently, 2022.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Shane Leckler's in there.
Rest in power.
Shane Leckler is definitely in there. You're talking some of the are we talking greatest punters of all time? Sean Landetta should be in there.
Reggie Roby.
Oh, Reggie Roby.
No longer with
R.I.P. Yes,
A weekly
Roby.
hangout would be more fun than a group text.
Yes.
Like, let's meet up at the Y every Friday night.
So what made you sad? The fact that he was referencing a punter circle? He's hearing it
He's
in
known around punting circles as a good holder.
Right.
Like, all right, so now we've gotten into punting circles.
Yes.
Holding is like the least interesting part of that. Like, I just like at least talk punting.
An underrated part, though.
Right.
Steve
Holding.
Weatherford.
You don't know how important a holder is until a hold is botched.
Yeah.
That is true. On College game day, they had Herb Street was like he had to take off because usually for the McAfee field goal thing, Herbie holds, but Herbie had to take off to the Red River rivalry. Rivalry.
It's a tough one, yeah.
They were
They
broadcasting
documented everything,
Yeah, from the convertible Mercedes.
And
Yes.
the private jet.
It was a hack they took.
Right, yeah.
Jonathan Wiley shout out, by the way.
Yeah.
I heard the Wiley shout out, yes.
But
A little annoyed with Herb Street, I got to be honest.
Nick Saban had to step in and hold for Herbie, and Nick got a little scared on the first one, pulled the finger away.
Oh, no, he did a Charlie Brown?
And
He pulled his finger?
And the kid who's kicking, literally, you blame Nick. He's like, it was Nick Saban's fault. He's just
Right.
like flat out Nick Saban's fault, and Nick Saban did a better job the second time, and he made the field goal the second one.
Huh. Roy, you blurted out in my ear Tony Romo when we were talking about holders.
Yep.
Because I think that's the thing you remember about Tony Romo.
Yeah, exactly.
The botched hold.
I mean, it used to be backup quarterbacks that used to hold, right?
Yeah, it used to be, now that you mention it.
Jess, are you doubting whether or not that's the thing you think of when you think
It's not the one thing. I think Cowboys quarterback, and then I think of the hold.
I think if you ask a football fan, what is your memory of Tony Romo as a football player, they would tell you the botched
Do
hold.
I not count as a football fan?
I think of
Well,
him.
no,
analyst,
I
though.
meant, like 100 football fans. I feel like 95 would say the botched hold.
Really?
Jess kind of was. We were talking about this off air, but while we were on air.
No, it's on
Why
there.
are we talking about holding when it comes to punting? Because the one kicking the ball is the actual holder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
confused about.
Huh.
Sure.
Okay.
Peter Rosenberg, he's going to join us right now. He is a host for ESPN Radio in New York. The Michael Kay Show, weekdays from 3 till 7. Peter, when you think of Tony Romo's playing career, do you think of the botched hold first?
That's a different question, Stugotz. It's not. You think Tony Romo. What do you think of first? You think of Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
Okay.
And then you think of Tony Romo plays, and then you think of the hold.
All right, I'll ask him again if his microphone is working.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think Tony Romo, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
It's Cabo, then the hold.
Cabo.
You got to go Cabo first.
Chris Cote was saying there's no amount of money that someone could pay him to do your daily shit. Chris, you did say
Well,
that.
I didn't say no amount. I just saw his
Daily
schedule.
shit.
And I saw 5 to 10 and then 3 to 7, and I was just like, wow,
Okay.
that seems rough.
Right.
Let's straighten some things out. First of all, the K show's 3 to 6:30, so give me that half hour back.
Okay.
Second of all, 5 to 10. We don't do our first live break though on the morning show until 6:40, 6:35. So, and our last live break should be added is 9 o'clock. So it's a little better than you just described. But I got to tell you, as a guy who's done mornings, the difference between starting a show at 5 a.m. or 6:30, it's an entire lifetime. Like those people who wake up at 4 a.m., like my friend Michelle Smallman, who does like the national ESPN show, those cats are getting up at the 3:40 in the morning. That is not my life, just so you know. I admire them, but I don't do that.
I think the important thing is, Peter, how much do you get paid, and then Chris can actually decide whether or not it's worth it.
Yeah, because
Well,
Peter, I think there are exact amounts of money I could pay Chris to do it starting tomorrow, actually. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this. If it was to be any of the one salaries that I have, it might not be enough. But cobbled all together, it would be enough to get up and do it. I think that's how it works.
Hey, Peter, do you have a second job between shifts? Because it seems like between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., you're pretty much a slacker.
Yeah, well, I have therapy. What's going to keep this crazed Jewish mind in order unless I pay an Upper West Side therapist in there? So I got that and taking care of a couple of dogs and the wife. But yeah, no, you're right. I got to work on that. I do have podcasts a couple of days a week too, so I try not to slack off.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So what will you lead with today? Because it's such a great time in New York sports. So come 3 o'clock, Michael K. Show kicks off. What are you guys going to lead with?
Well, you Stu are going to love this more than anyone. The current fight that we cannot escape on our radio show, no matter what I say, no matter how much me and my producer who's in my ear are going, oh my God, let's move on from this. The current subject that Michael and Don are obsessed with is that it's insane for a fan of either the Mets or the Yankees to like lightly pull for the other team. That makes you a fraud. That makes you a horrible fan. You cannot. It takes over every show right now.
I don't think there's much animosity between Mets and Yankees fans because they're in different leagues. There are times where the Mets have not, many times, where the Mets, Peter, have not made the playoffs and the Yankees have, of course. And I'm pulling for the Yankees because I want the most interesting series because I love sports. So I don't view it as any sort of betrayal. It's just I'm not rooting for the Phillies. I'm rooting for the Yankees, you know?
I see. I think people of a certain generation view it that way. People over a certain age seem to be more obsessed with this idea. And this goes back to like the Giants and the Dodgers and like all this oldie time press sign in your hat era of viewing baseball. And I just think that, yeah, there are people like you, Stu, who will just be like, nah, sure. Then, listen, is there a certain fraud level of New York fans? Like, I interview these people in hip-hop a lot, right? They show up, they're wearing a Minnesota Twins hat, and you're like, what team do you root for? And they say, yo, I just root for New York. Now, listen, there is a lot of fraudness like that. But it's a different era, man. Like, when Michael and Don were growing up, it was either like playing jacks or watching baseball. Like those were the only options, you know? I think that for kids who grew up in the video game, music video era, it just seems like it's not as important a subject. But long answer, my guess would be we'll probably open Mets getting just, absolutely ran last night.
This segment is presented by LinkedIn Jobs. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/prep. Terms and conditions apply.
Peter, that can't be unique to Yankees and Mets fans, right? Is it extreme as well with Jets and Giants fans? Is it Islanders and Rangers fans? Is it all over the city, or is it mostly just baseball?
I would say it's the most in baseball. If you go sport by sport, in basketball, nobody cares about the Nets, so it's a moot conversation. if you're a hard, although I will say, we did call Spike Lee called in and we yelled at him when he went to a Nets playoff game and sat in the front row. We did get on him for that. That
the
happened. The nerve. But I would say mostly the Knicks Nets don't matter because the Nets don't matter enough. Hockey is the most aggressive lines that I think even the young people still have. Like, I truly think an Islander fan hates the Rangers. I do think that has maintained, because hockey, to be involved in hockey is to already be a more intense fan by nature, just because of what the sport is. In football, Jets and Giants, I'd say similar to baseball, but not the exact same. And there is a little bit more, that feels a little more recent too, because the Giants have those championships. And if you're a Jets fan, you are so bitter by nature. I think it was hard to have any appreciation. I don't think there were a lot of Jets fans who were like, oh, no, but I'm happy that New York got a chip. I don't think there was as much of that. I think this is a baseball problem, because the truth is young people cannot handle following baseball 162 games a year. So they just root for whoever. That's what I think has really happened.
Well, in hockey, 40 some odd years later, Rangers fans are still saying that Denny Potvin sucks.
You're right. Yeah.
That culturally has kept it going. Like, that's the beauty of that, is that they keep reinforcing that to the next generation. I just think the baseball thing has died out. Like, and I think there are a lot of people who are hardcore fans of their team who would like to see a Subway Series just on account of the pomp and circumstance. I mean, it's been 24 years. It would be pretty interesting by all accounts to just have a Subway Series.
Peter, I'm wondering, in the most crowded sports market in America, talk about the second-level teams for a minute. You got the New York Liberty in the WNBA playoffs right now. You've got two teams in MLS. Are one of those sports ready to break through and become sort of mainstream on the level with the others that we're talking about?
Clearly, the Liberty are the closest. There's no question about it. And all due respect to the Red Bulls NYCFC, the Liberty are definitely the ones that are knocking on the door. I went to game one. It was packed. Game two, they somehow squeezed in even more. They set a Barclays Center record yesterday. So no, and there's like a real level of kind of celebrity fans that come to Liberty games. It's definitely the Liberty. That being said, though, you can't even pretend that it's truly on the level yet in terms of fan interest. I mean, on a day when you have the baseball teams and the football teams playing, even the Liberty being in the finals, I still think in terms of most places that you would listen to sports talk radio, the Liberty still end up being a blurb. You know, most people aren't taking a guest. For example, like if I was Michael Kay, because I basically lay out when it comes to guest decisions, I suggest people and then eyes get rolled at me. And then occasionally, if I like happen to connect with someone that's like CC Sabathia, who like is on baseball, I can get that guest on. But I don't go pushing my guests, except for like WrestleMania season, perhaps. But if it was my show, I would have gotten Sabrina Ionesco on last week. Like, to me, that's a no-brainer heading into the WNBA finals, or Breanna Stewart. Like, I think that's a no-brainer. I still don't think many shows across the city are doing that yet. So it's close, but I still think we're not quite there.
What is Michael Kay's take to open the show today? What is Don's take to open the show today? There are days I walk in here and I know Dan and I know how he's going to open the show. You know how you guys are opening the show today. What's it going to be? Spoiler alert.
Well, it's going to be Don's going to be ticked off about the Mets game one. What exactly I don't think he's going to be over. I don't think he'll be over ticked though, because this team has shown you over and over again that they can bounce back. So I think it's not. If you had asked me last year, Stu, and this had somehow happened, but they had gotten to this far in the playoffs in a different manner, I think that today's open would be, you know what? No matter how far they go, it's same old Mets. But I don't think anyone feels same old Mets energy. So I don't think that's what we get today. And Michael will begrudgingly talk through the Mets stuff, even though your brain can see him just baseball horny for game 1 of the Yankees series, but he'll fight through it to talk about the Mets.
I mean, game 2 is going to be going on during your show.
I know. Yes, exactly. Knocking us to a different signal. No, but days like that can be really fun. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of my favorite days.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago during the doubleheader where the Mets had to get a win to get into the playoffs, we were on the air. It is awesome when you are doing a live sports talk show in a big city and one of the teams is playing. That is actually one of the real kind of treats, I think, of doing the job.
Has Francisco Lindor become the most popular athlete in New York? He's got to be up there, right?
So no, he's not because Jalen Brunson.
All right.
But he is getting up there, man. I Lindor, it's going to be tough for him to ever get the one spot on account of the Mets not being the Yankees. And so their popularity being just beneath what the Yankees are. And then there's not one team in this city that has the shared love of the 5 boroughs like the Knicks do. I mean, the Knicks are the most universally loved team across this city. So I think it's Jalen Brunson right now. I think Brunson goes into this season with like a level of expectation and excitement for this Knicks team that we haven't seen since a Ewing year at some point. That's he is the guy. But Lindor has squeezed himself, I'd say, into 3. I think Brunson, Judge, Lindor. I think that's fair to say.
We'll get to what happened with Brunson's dad and Dante DiVincenzo in a second. What'd you make of the trade for Karl-Anthony Towns, though? You had to be like, I was super positive about it because, and I was a little taken back by Knicks fans being so upset that they're losing guys, Dante DiVincenzo and some others, that granted had a great run last year, but that's as far as those guys are taking that team.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And it was when I realized that I'm a fraud, and I'm a Celtics fan who will pull for the Knicks if they're not playing the Celtics. It was the moment when I realized, that's the difference between being a fraud or not. Because when Marcus Smart was traded from the Celtics, I needed to be consoled. Like I was broken over it because I loved him so much. And when Julius Randle and Dante were similar, sort of in like heart and soul guys were traded, I was like, get over it. You want to get better players. I mean, I as much as I love Randle and he deserves a ton of credit for being the lunch pail guy that started this whole thing, I think everyone always thought he would probably end up trade bait if they were to win a championship. And the Dante piece, there's 2 angles, right? Like, A, he's one of the Nova kids. And they were really into that, though everyone chill. They still have 3 Nova kids. They just got Mikal Bridges this offseason. But I think you and I know there's another part, which is that his name's Dante DiVincenzo. We love an Italian player on a team in New York. So it hit double for the fans here. And I think what happened yesterday probably adds to that lore of people being like, I knew I loved Dante DiVincenzo.
Goes right after Brunson's dad. Right? Waste no time.
And Thibodeau. I think people love that. But no, the average fan, I think, was sad about it. And New York. New Yorkers have been calling Cat soft for so long.
Right.
That now they have to rely on this guy who they've said is soft. So there's a bit there. But honestly, he's a way better shooter than Randle. He's still a big body. To me, he is the more championship caliber player. I think it was the right move.
What are you expecting from the Jets tonight?
Well, I've been awful this year, guys. I am so lost on picks right now. I won our contest that we do the last 2 years, and I'm so distantly in last place this year. So I'm probably not the one to ask, but in a lot of sports, you think you get a bounce back game, like there's new coach. Football doesn't always move that way because there's a lot to deal with when you have a new coach and a new play caller. But I tend to think that they'll be competitive. Number one, because they've been competitive against Buffalo recently for whatever weird reason. And I just have to think there's maybe this is me believing in the Rodgers of yesteryear, but I have to think there's going to be a pride factor for Rodgers that with this much attention on them, dude, if they lay an egg in this spot, let's just all be real. The wheels are coming off.
Right.
Like, I mean, the New York Post, if it weren't for election season, it would be the front page. It would dominate the headlines every single day. If they get blown out on TV tonight and look like a total joke against Buffalo after letting go of the coach unceremoniously, and God forbid Rodgers is bad or gets dinged up, they are so beyond finished. And if they're finished, it means the Rodgers experiment is ostensibly finished. It means that you're restarting this entire thing again. So, like, to me, tonight has such an immense amount of pressure. I don't know if they win. I will be surprised if they don't compete well tonight.
Peter, on the way out here, if I were to ask you, what do New York sports fans want the most? Is it a Super Bowl? Is it a World Series? Is it a Stanley Cup? I'm trying to rank the importance of those sports because I was telling my wife last night they want World Series over Super Bowls in New York, both fan bases.
Yeah, I think that's true. Although I will say, because of the 50 some odd year drought, I think, or the 50 year, yeah, whatever it is, 51, that Jets Super Bowl to me could really potentially be the biggest thing. I would say that 1 and 1A, depending how you look at it, is a Jets Super Bowl and a Knicks NBA championship. Right. I really think, because the Yankees, as big a deal as it will be, obviously, you know, they've already got 28 of them, right? Like,
28.
They win constantly. So you're constantly used to the Yankees winning championships, whereas the Jets, even though they don't have the same size fan base, the fact that it's been so long, you know, them getting their second versus the Yankees getting their 28th, I just think the Jets one would end up being such a gigantic story. And then the Knicks, like I said, they're just such a universal team across the city. It's been since 1973, the entire Ewing era, no championship. That would be right there, too.
All right, check him out. Ebro in the morning, weekdays from 5 until 10, although he doesn't get there until about 6:45. That's on Hot 97. That's on Hot 97. And the Michael K. Show, weekdays from 3 to 6:30 p.m. On ESPN Radio in New York. It's a great time for New York sports fans right now, so check Peter out. We appreciate it, my man. Greg, you're right. You were right to call him out. He's a slacker during the middays.
He's a slacker. Let me tell you, though, as somebody who lives 2,000 miles south, I was a little surprised to hear him say that the Knicks own that town. And I wonder if that's totally cyclical. Like if the Giants right now are 5-1, if the Rangers are headed to the Stanley Cup, does all that change?
So here's the thing. When you grow up in New York, you have 2 hockey teams, you have 2 baseball teams, you have 2 football teams, and we are all saddled with that 1 basketball team. And so that because the Nets played in New Jersey forever. Yeah. They just got to Brooklyn. And so that's the one place where all New York sports fans kind of come together and root for the same team, pulling in the same direction. Yeah. Because it's all we got. And it's been so long since they've won. Like Jordan's gotten in the way like he did for so many other teams. Yep. And so, yeah, I tend to agree with that. I would say it's a basketball town first and then a baseball town.
Wow. It is called the Mecca.
It is. Thank you, Roy.
You're welcome.
I felt like, Roy, you were the Mecca of South Florida sports this weekend, throwing out a first pitch Savannah Bananas.
Wow.
Look at you.
Yes. I thought
crowded,
I thought it was going to be a baseball that I was going to throw out. It was actually a wooden banana painted gold.
That's fun.
VIB, the very important banana.
Now, I want to know how AJ and Big Justice got a more important role than you did in this game. They actually got to play.
I don't know. I guess they're more of a celebrity.
I know they're more famous.
Yeah, there you go.
Not locally.
Huh.
And Roy?
Them Roy?
Yeah, they have like hundreds of thousands of followers.
Roy, let me see your Twitter account.
Yeah, I got like 80,000.
It's not a slight at Roy, just they're having a moment
sounds like one,
right
though.
now. Yeah.
Was the Rizzler not there?
Did not see him.
AJ and Big Justice, they're not saying no to anything, huh? They're just everywhere.
Yeah.
I've literally seen them do like 20 different things. Like, you know, this they're at this game. They're everywhere.
Well, they're getting paid, I assume.
All right, you think they're getting paid?
They're not. You think they're doing it for free?
I think these guys love the attention.
You know what they're not doing?
What's that, Billy?
Our Godless Football Listener League. They could be, though. All you have to do, $3 buy-in. Join GBF's weekly contest for a chance to compete against the cast. Plus, win cash prizes. Go to dkng.co/Smirnoff. Presented by Smirnoff, the world's #1 vodka. Please drink responsibly. I know you guys are wondering how I did this week, right? Naturally.
Yes.
Sure.
I had a bit of a slide backwards, 495th place. Not the best. Yeah. I thought that I had it figured out. Yeah, I thought that I had it figured out with Jordan Love because he had a great game. But
he's good.
He's the only one that was good for me this week. He's the only one that had the little flames next to his name, which is like a good thing. You guys, if you compete, you'll know that the flames are a good thing and a little snowflake is a bad thing. That means that they're ice cold as opposed to scorching hot.
Right.
And this week, Jordan Love was the only guy on my team that was scorching hot, which is not a good thing, not a recipe for success. So, yeah, 495th place this week, unfortunately, in case you guys were wondering.
But the top 500, I mean.
Yeah, top 500.
Nice.
But it didn't, it didn't place, yeah.
AJ and Big Justice have 2 million followers.
Do they really?
Go ahead, Stugotz.
I was going to ask, what is the attraction? And I apologize for not knowing this, but that was an enormous crowd for the Savannah Bananas. Like, can someone explain it to me?
They're making baseball fun again, Stugotz.
Are they?
Yes, they are. There are a lot of kids in the stands in this game. So they're getting a new generation of baseball fans this way.
Well, they're confusing them, right? Like, if
Also-
little kids are exposed to baseball and they think this is what's going on, they're going to be super duper confused. I spoke to someone that was there. Within my banana circles, I have information on what went on there.
Banana sources?
Yeah. So I saw the score that was put out was 3-2. The Savannah Bananas lost, which is akin to the Harlem Globetrotters losing, I thought. But then I found out in my banana circles, it was actually much worse than that because they, I guess, just assign winners per inning. So I guess they lost. You guys could explain to me. I don't know if you guys are in the banana circles. So they lost, I guess, 3 innings to 2, which 5 innings is not even an official game. But that's not a story for today. That's for another conversation. But I heard that the 3-2 was not even close to the score, that they just were destroyed by, I assume, the party animals, like 18-3 or something. They just so happened to win 2 of those innings.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They scored like 8-9 runs in that game, the party animals did.
That's how they keep it close and competitive, whereas it doesn't matter
They're
how
trying
much,
to keep it close.
It doesn't matter how much you dominate an inning, you can only win that inning. So
Also, there's a running clock, 2 hours.
Yep.
I also heard that the best hit was by D. Strange Gordon, which is not ideal, is that you have a retired player come out and they are the best player that day. And his best hit, I believe, unless I'm incorrect, was a triple in which he tripped on his way to third base, got up, and still made it safely to third.
That is correct.
Billy, you were invited, weren't you? I think we were all invited. I said I couldn't go because I wanted to watch college football, but
Right,
I think we.
It's a soft invite, yeah.
Okay.
Well, what do you mean a soft
Mine
invite?
was hard. Was yours soft?
Yeah, well,
Oh.
you know.
my favorite part was watching Mike Fuentes take part in the, I think it was Dad Bod dance-off.
Yeah, he was great.
Was he?
I don't know. I mean, he went for it.
It's on the screen.
Do we have
right
the
now,
audio
Stugotz.
here? Oh, this is just B-roll. Man, I've never heard an audience pop less.
You get out there and dance in front of a
Chris,
bunch
what
of
I'm
people.
doing.
He's trying to
See,
pop and lock.
he's trying to actually look sexy here with like the little twerk thing. You gotta
Yes.
just worm it. You gotta do the worm. Like, know what the crowd wants here.
I understand.
Like Mike Fuentes fancies himself some guy who can move his hips, so he's like, I'm gonna show it off right here.
but,
See it, ladies?
But
Here
he
it
can.
is.
Look at him.
Yeah, he's
I don't wanna
fine.
look at him.
It's fine.
No, I'm giving Fuentes credit for actually going for it. Like
It's
he
more
went there.
impressive though than it is funny. You
No,
gotta go for
pe-
comedy.
People
there.
in my worm dance circles are
Yeah.
saying the guy in front of him
Worm
did
circles.
the worm.
Yeah.
Oh, you
So-
can't
One
reworm.
dance sources.
Once
Dennis
someone
Rodman.
worms,
You can't repeat,
reworm.
yeah.
Yeah,
See,
I can't do that
that's kind of
Rodman.
my understanding is that's what I was invited to participate in.
And
but,
you were like, absolutely.
well, no,
not.
but then it was also like, and if you want, you could stick around for the game with a press pass. I'm like, hold on a second. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to dance in front of a bunch of strangers. I'm not even going to do this to entertain my children. And then I'm going to have to go to a press box where, you know, my contemporaries
right.
are going to see me after I was dancing on the field. Like, I'm good.
Roy, no dance contest for you?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Because I threw out the first banana.
Well, what does that mean? That means you're above the dance contest?
Yes.
You're too famous for it?
Yes, that's exactly
Is
what
that,
that
and
means.
Fuentes is not, is what you're saying.
No, I can't
It goes
dance. I'm not
Mike
a dancer.
Fuentes, Roy, AJ, and Big Justice.
that's
That was
right.
the
Banana
highlight.
And
ranks
D.
everything.
Gordon, right?
D. Gordon.
Yes.
Oh, D.
Jeremy
Gordon's closer
Tessier
to
was
Roy
there.
than.
Huh.
How did Annabelle Sanchez do?
What?
Yeah, he was there. He pitched.
Get out of here.
How'd he do?
I believe I was on my way to the press box when.
Aw.
How many innings did he throw?
I don't know, man. One, I guess.
Juan Pierre played also. Guys, I
JP.
wasn't
How
even
does
there.
Billy
I know
know
exactly
more about
right.
this
Come
than
on.
the
What are
rest
we
of
doing
the
here?
We're busy getting
here?
food.
The Savannah Bananas are
What?
all ex-Marlins? Like,
What do you mean you were getting food? How long was this event?
2 hours.
2 hours,
running
running
clock.
clock.
You
Yeah.
had to get food.
You had
Yes,
to
we
make
were
sure to get
hungry,
that food before the clock.
Jess,
As soon as the
Jess.
clock hits 0, the food
Jess.
stops.
Exactly. Those are long lines.
Were you
all those
paying for the
kids.
food or free food?
No.
Oh no, I paid for
No,
the food.
Jess, you have never seen Roy with a press pass. I mean,
No, I paid for the food.
did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I went to the concession stands
All
on
right.
the first level.
So
stand
Stugotz,
corrected.
this is how it works. The Savannah Bananas and I from the Banana Circles, when they're playing somewhere, they'll try to bring in like a luminary of that team to come out and like play for the Bananas. Like for example, Ryan Howard made a debut for the Savannah Bananas not too long ago. So like they'll bring in like a big name that
Sure.
means something to like the town or the team or whatever. So the Marlins brought out Anibal Sanchez and Juan Pierre. And D. Strange Gordon, and a relief pitcher that throws with both hands that I think a lot of people forgot was probably on the Marlins.
We're gonna make the obvious joke here, right? There's more people at the Savannah Bananas games than probably any.
That's
Marlins
why I
game.
was asking. I was
Yes.
amazed to see how large the crowd
Yeah,
was.
3 times the crowd.
Yeah,
It
but
was sold out.
Do it 81
It
times.
was sold
you know what I mean?
out.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're busy getting
Here.
food.
The Savannah Bananas are
What?
all ex-Marlins? Like,
What do you mean you were getting food? How long was this event?
2 hours.
2 hours,
running
running
clock.
clock.
Yeah.
You had to
Yeah.
get food.
You had
Yes,
to
we
make
were
sure to get
hungry,
that food before the clock.
Jess,
As soon as the
Jess.
clock hits 0, the food
Jess.
stops.
Exactly. Those are long lines.
Were you
all
paying
those
for the
kids.
food or free food?
no.
Oh no, I paid
No,
for the food.
Jess, you have never seen Roy with a press pass. I mean,
No, I paid for the food.
did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I went to the concession stands
All
on
right.
the first level.
So
stand
Stugotz,
corrected.
this is how it works. The Savannah Bananas and I from the Banana Circles, when they're playing somewhere, they'll try to bring in like a luminary of that team to come out and like play for the Bananas. Like for example, Ryan Howard made a debut for the Savannah Bananas not too long ago. So like they'll bring in like a big name that
Sure.
means something to like the town or the team or whatever. So the Marlins brought out Anibal Sanchez and Juan Pierre. And D. Strange Gordon, and a relief pitcher that throws with both hands that I think a lot of people forgot was probably on the Marlins.
We're gonna make the obvious joke here, right? There's more people at the Savannah Bananas games than probably any.
That's
Marlins
why I
game.
was asking. I was
Yes.
amazed to see how large the crowd
Yeah,
was.
3 times the crowd.
Yeah,
It
but
was sold out.
Do it 81
It
times.
was
you know
sold
what I mean?
out.
Yeah,
Wow.
legitimately sold out.
When was the last Marlins sellout?
But the Marlins haven't done it 81 times.
Well, no, but that's what I'm
Stadium
saying. The
opener?
Bananas wouldn't do it 81 times. Now, if you tell the fans of Miami, guys, you have one game a year to see Vidal Brujan.
So what
I
you're saying
guarantee you that 37,000 people show up to see Vidal.
the Marlins should be a traveling MLB team, is what you're saying.
Well, they travel half their games.
Well, they should travel all of their games.
it seems like the Marlins should bring back all their former popular players, right?
Gary Sheffield.
That'd be more entertaining. I'd rather see that
I
team
don't-
than the team they're trotting out there right now.
Well,
The
season
ones they
ended.
Or
traded
sign
away.
Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
available.
Or AJ and Big Justice.
Yeah. Not Mike though. Sorry, Fuentes.
Who are AJ and Big Justice?
Oh,
Everybody-
Thank you for asking.
Everybody keeps
Thank
talking
you.
about them like
Thank
I'm
you.
supposed to know.
Thank you.
I'll give you a hint.
Boom! That's
I don't think
not
that
a
helps.
hint
Figured
for
it out?
either of us.
You got it?
Yeah.
Wait, Stugotz, you don't know who they are either?
No idea.
So
What
you've
does
just
that
been
mean?
sitting here the whole
Have
time.
you guys not
So
paid
have I.
attention
I've
to
been sitting
Mystery
here,
Crate
too.
every episode for the
Yeah.
past 6 months?
I'm sorry, Mystery Crate. You would know all of this
Okay.
right now.
It sounds
I'm
like-
sorry. I was sitting here waiting for Greg to ask the question I didn't want to ask.
It sounds like a crazy zoo radio, like a morning zoo radio team or something. AJ and the Big.
I think
Dog,
they have a
whatever you call it.
podcast.
Of course
Not
they
that
do.
far off.
Right.
It's
of
called
course
Talk
they do.
to a.
I mean, but Greg asked the question, and I still don't know who they
Still,
are.
They're afraid to answer.
They're
Just
just-
Kim
they're-
Jong Un was on Talk to.
I did see
They're
that.
internet famous. these two.
Internet
Are
famous.
they?
Okay.
Like influencers, or
Yeah, they went viral a couple months back, and now they're everywhere.
I mean, getting famous is easy these days.
15
Yeah,
minutes.
more
almost
followers
up, Big
than
J.
us.
I
Big,
mean,
Big Justice.
AJ's been trying for years. If you see old videos of them,
I
so
know, but
it
you're-
wasn't that easy for them actually.
But your dad, your dad had to work for his fame,
So did AJ.
I don't know.
So did I.
AJ's
I don't
been
know.
grinding.
right?
AJ's been doing it since he had hair.
The Rizzler deserves
What?
every ounce of fame that he has. By
I
the
feel
way.
bad for that kid.
He's so cute.
But
Yeah.
I'm
He's
saying,
adorable.
but back when, back in my day, back when Greg and I were growing up, you really had to work, right? You had to go to a recording studio and do a tape and
They're
Yeah.
not singers.
Oh, the tapes.
send it out to program
Yes.
directors.
Nobody
and edit
handed
the
it to
tape.
you.
Now you just turn on your phone, and if you're good enough, you're good enough. Nothing else
Ridiculous.
matters.
TikTok.
But I
No more
guess that's the only thing that
gatekeepers.
should matter. If you're good enough, you're good enough. I mean,
Just said TikTok inexplicably.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the sound a clock made. Now you make a TikTok and you're internet famous in a minute and a half. It's crazy.
I think the clock still makes the sound.
Everyone just make a TikTok and you get famous. That's how it works.
Yeah.
We got digital clocks now. No more TikTok.
You would agree it's easier to become famous than it used to be.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think, Greg, you should do a TikTok. Like, just what did you put in all this hard work for? Just start a TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whatever.
A lot of untalented people got famous before the internet, though, right?
Yeah,
Name
me. Name some more.
My dad's actually done a TikTok. Like I'm gonna send it to the video.
Have
team.
you? What was it?
I don't remember. Let's not.
It was a dance one, right? Yeah, I remember this TikTok. It was great.
God.
Greg's yearning for an easier time, not more devices,
Yeah.
more apps.
I want to work less.
I mean, the guy started the show by saying he wants the ESPN app to be a station.
I do wish that there was a way. So I have YouTube TV, and I wish there was a way I could get all my streaming devices to integrate into my YouTube TV app, so that if like Notre Dame's playing on Peacock or there's like something I want to watch on one of the streaming services, I can flip easily or create a multi-view with all of them. And I wonder if there's ever a way in the future where we could do that, because that would make my life so much easier.
I've recently converted to YouTube TV, and I'm loving.
So did
love
I.
YouTube
Sports.
TV.
It's great.
And the
Yes.
The only thing that's annoying, it's like, why do they get to pick which 4 games that
You
I
can
want?
customize, though.
No, but you can't specifically. You can't like specifically do it. Like I have
So
to
there
like
were certain-
scroll through
no,
like
I have
15
the answer.
different.
Right.
But sometimes I want to do the weather channel. Like why can't I pick and choose?
Oh, you can't mix
Why can't
and
I get
match.
red
No,
zone
no.
and one game? It's
No.
like I can only get the 2 football games. It's like they can pick. I should just be able to cater 4 screens.
Right.
Any channels that I pay for, I should be able to pick to do a 4-way box.
So they give you predetermined quad boxes, which I'm fine with. But if you want to customize them, you can. But I think there are some national and network restrictions from being in that quad box.
But like last night, I was watching a Fox baseball game and NBC football, so they're cool with it in some instances. But it's
Right.
just, I don't just. To me, it's like I'm paying for all these
I know
channels.
They're working on it though, because I think they they rolled it out in beta at some point. But yes, you're right. Like I wanted to watch Sunday Red Zone Liberty game, couldn't do
Exactly.
it. That's all I want. Give me football on one, basketball on the other.
I love the quad box.
Oh, I mean, I love it in general, but I hate when it restricts.
I understand.
It made the end of my Saturday so satisfying, just watching all of those games go late at the same time.
Yes.
And then there's so many effing commercial breaks now, it just like ruins the flow of every game. You don't have to switch. You just turn your attention to the right and then back to the left.
I'll just put the sound over there, and
Just
30
hit the
seconds
arrow.
later, I'll start
Yes.
hearing
Amazing.
it.
Right, it buffers.
What an invention, truly.
Does that happen with your sound? It's like I'll go over to this box, and it's like 42 seconds later, I'll start actually hearing it.
Yes,
mine is pretty
every
instant.
time.
Mine's like
Mine
a
is-
crazy delay.
Mine is not delayed. You might need better internet.
No, by the time I get over to the other game, I want to go back to the game I was on. Chris is right.
I'm like,
It does
ooh,
not happen to
I'm like,
me.
ooh, they're showing Man Campbell doing a pregame speech. So I go over there real fast, and by the time the sound actually gets there, they're off of the speech that I wanted to hear. And anyway,
Lions, best team in football?
they're good.
Oh, my God.
How many teams can we say are good? You want to play that game?
Ravens,
Okay.
Lions.
Are the Niners? Do we know the Niners are good?
I don't know.
I think they are. Keep in mind they've been without McCaffrey most of the season.
But is he coming back? I mean,
Yeah, he's supposed to come back in a couple of weeks.
by the way, we have here video with some sound of my dad doing a TikTok. I think the TikTok is just music.
He nailed the dance.
Yep,
though.
this is my dad dancing, doing a trendy dance. Man, this is. Remember when TikTok was fun?
Oh, yeah.
That is my dad's house. That's the game room of Curios.
Yeah. Nailed
Thank you
it.
for ending that. That was brutal.
You can make a lot of money there, Greg.
Yeah, really.
I'm serious.
Your first celebrity crush was Susan Day, huh?
People paying me not to do that.
Is that true, Dad?
Yeah, Partridge Family.
Wow.
Really?
Who was yours,
Absolutely.
Billy?
Wow, that's a good question.
Who was? The Pink Power Ranger.
Mine
Really?
was also a Power Ranger. Who's my imaginary friend?
Mine was my second grade teacher,
Oh.
Mrs. Erbach. I mean,
My
I had a
first,
crush on her. I'm sorry.
My first grade teacher, Miss Fitzgerald, I had a crush on.
Oh, yeah, she was a hottie.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember going to the first
All right,
teacher
Dad,
child
that's enough.
conference and baby. I'm just kidding. It's all a joke.
You were showing up to school.
Yeah, didn't have to.
All of a sudden, you had a sudden interest in picking up Chris every day.
Marissa told me a different world.
Oh,
That's a good
nice.
one, Roy.
Oh.
That is a good one. I'm trying to think of someone from Days of Our Lives. or General Hospital. I watch both. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
General Hospital.
Greg, I know you want to talk about Lionel Messi. I believe he has a new cologne out, and I do want to talk about that. But I was wondering, when Peter Rosenberg was on with us earlier, because you love the Red Sox, correct?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about him being a Boston guy saying that he roots for the New York teams when his team gets eliminated? Because you can't do that. Like, that's ridiculous. That's absurd.
No, you can't do that. Like as a Red Sox fan, I was raised to always hate the Yankees under any circumstance.
Of course.
You know, like just because they're both in the American League,
Right.
that doesn't even come close.
Right.
You actively root against the Yankees.
What I got from that is this industry will suck the sports fandom out of you, because what he's doing is rooting for his own success on the radio.
Right.
He wants the teams to be good. He wants the teams to be relevant. He will throw away his Boston allegiances if it means it's going to be good for him and his show.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even likes it out there that he's got that Boston background.
Right.
You know, that's not good for him.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I actually, growing up with my dad, kind of considered the Red Sox my American League team. You know, my dad, Red Sox fan. I was a Marlins fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to admit, because, you know, Dad, I don't want to call you out, but I wouldn't say you're not a diehard Red Sox fan at this point. We're not, like, following the Red Sox.
No, but
very
Chris, I'm
seriously.
saying this industry will suck the fandom out of you.
Right,
Like, your
but-
dad's been in it long enough.
Right.
You
So
know?
that's my point. So he's kind of the Red Sox just has kind of faded away from me, and I've married into a Yankee family. So I would almost say at this point that I root for the Yankees more than the Red Sox.
So you don't root against your significant other's team,
No.
so that you don't have to watch Yankees games.
No, I root for them because I think my father-in-law, if they make the World Series, might take us all to the World Series. I'm trying to get in that trip.
Georgie Lynott maybe switch allegiances to the Yankees.
yeah.
Maybe that's the heart
Classic
of this.
Lynott.
Yeah.
Chris, I see what you're doing.
I'm trying to get that trip to New York.
Right.
By my father-in-law. If I text him every once in a while, like, oh, Garrett Cole, am I right?
So you just want to go to the World Series, or you want to go to New York?
No, just like I want to go to a World Series game. I just kind of want to get in on
Been
that
to
trip.
World Series game.
I know, but
You
I just-
have?
Well, yeah, I've been to 03 and 97.
Wow.
Wow.
I've never been to one.
Right.
I was at the clinching game in 97.
Fortunate kid. I wonder who raised him.
Yeah, lucky kid.
A little press box.
Great
Earlene.
parents.
Yes, I was in the press box.
Well, I mean, maybe your dad brought you up there.
You ain't
I mean,
wrong.
Did you eat any free food?
I still remember Game 7. It's like it's one of my earliest vivid memories, 97 Game 7.
How about 03? 03 was a
10.
Game 7 too, right?
No.
Yeah, no, that was
Game
Game
6
6 in New York.
Yeah, in New
That's
York.
right.
Yeah. I was there. I've never heard Yankee Stadium quieter than when the Red Sox won.
You mean the Marlins?
Marlins.
I mean, the Marlins.
Josh Beckett.
See, you got
yeah.
me thinking Red Sox now.
Right.
Yeah.
You were happy though because you're a Red Sox fan, right? And the Marlins had won.
I was happy because it was a good story to write.
He's a homer.
It was fun.
Total homer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Why are you interested by Messi's cologne here?
I'm interested in whatever Messi does. You know, he's at that point late in his career where he's taking advantage of what's. And I'm not saying that when he retires as a player, he's going to fall off the face of the earth. He isn't. He's eternal, his celebrity and his greatness. But he's taking advantage of it all. You know, he started a new production company called 525 Rosario, I think, which is after his childhood address, much like me in 1440.
I get it. Yeah.
And now he's got a cologne.
yeah.
You know, he's got a cologne out, Parfum, Eau de Parfum, $73 for a small bottle of it. And
We've reached the full spectrum of athlete-based colognes. I think we had Will Levis with a cologne a few weeks ago,
Oh,
and now
that
we have
stinks.
Messi.
Hey.
So
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
if those two spectrums can have a cologne, anyone can have a
Yeah.
cologne.
When did that start? Did it start with Jordan?
The Jordan
I
cologne?
feel like celebrities have had
No,
perfumes.
No,
and
they
cologne
have.
for a
just
long time.
athletes. Just athletes.
I
But
mean, Jordan
legal-
should have a cologne.
I mean, Messi's cologne will sell worldwide because he's Messi.
Not for $73.
Yeah, that's not bad. You know, it's Eau de Parfum.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan, and I want to tell you about two of my favorite things, football and Miller Lite. And when you combine the two, that makes for one heck of a Miller time. See, Miller Lite has great taste, but is also less filling. And football, well, it's just spectacular from start to finish. You put those two things together, you've already carved out a perfect day. Miller Lite keeps things simple with undebatable quality, great taste, and only 96 calories. It's a beer that strips away everything that you don't need and holds on to what matters most, a light beer that actually tastes like beer. Make your game time taste like Miller time. Tastes great and is less filling. Let it be both. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan. Or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.